Hello, hola, and buenas, buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. The Galaxy has a new signing, and although he hasn't arrived in LA yet, the team sure does need him as the G's lost at home yet again for the second game in a row in a 3-1 drubbing to St. Louis City that saw fans voice their displeasure throughout to a team that looked bereft of ideas. We'll take a look at this recent loss and if the Galaxy can rebound ahead of the Cali Clasico this weekend against their oldest rival, the San Jose Earthquakes, despite injuries and suspensions piling up. We'll also take a look at the Galaxy's newest player and how he fits into the team. Plus, did the Galaxy go full Karen on another MLS team? All that and more coming up on La Cuna Galaxiana, a.k.a. another edition of Sad Fool Hours. DJcito, spin that track. G's up.
Yeah, let's get it started with a new year, new me. Cuna Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars on the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanny when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que están bilingüe, que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. It's La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Pravda, Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you soccer fans out there. But let's be honest, you Galaxy fans need that extra bit of love right now because things are a shambles. We're going to get into all that. But before we do, welcome back. Like I mentioned, I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. As usual with you, you can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And the man that pointed out to me the other night, it's not all bad. At least Spain and Arsenal are champions. My co-host, El Papá de Natita, y El Yerno Guapo, Ananda Kirana. So, you know, 2 of your 3 teams aren't doing bad, right?
I mean, we all gotta find something positive in our lives, right? We all gotta see life as glass half full. Because if you're, supporting a team in 10th place in the doldrums now outside of the playoff spot, and you keep seeing the same thing over and over again, it's like Groundhog's Day and deja vu. It's gonna get to you, right? And it's gotten to a lot of Galaxy fans. It got to a lot of Galaxy fans. It got a lot to Galaxy fans with certain signage around the stadium, fans leaving at the 70th minute, and so on. And that tells you all you need to know about right now the state of this team, unfortunately. And I think the fans have voiced their displeasure and have showed it in multiple actions. And of course, we will get to why. At least on the Rob and I will try to make sense. I mean, this is Sad Fool Hours, so part of this is group therapy, by the way. Thanks for everyone joining for now. But yeah, if it gets too sad, it's all good. You can take a little break and come back, and because we are on replay. You guys can catch us on replay. You guys can catch us. I know some of you are obviously live right now. Some of you are probably on your way to work, at the gym, getting your lunch break, all that good stuff. But we're here for you, and we're here to at least make some sort of rational sense of what the F is going on with this team at the moment. But I don't know if Rob used this word, but I know he used it last night. Like, this team is in dire straits at the moment. They're in a very vulnerable position. We'll get back to that word a little bit later. But speaking of words, Papa, I'm going to ask you, We walked out together pretty late out of the digs, and it was not a fun. It was like a walk of shame. There was absolutely no one there. But you've had a night to sleep on it. So, any word that surmises your reaction to this game?
Oh man, there's a lot of emotions. I mean, I was sharing some of them with you throughout the match. I mean, and it just it's you mentioned that word vulnerable, right? And I mean, I am going to get to my one word here in a second, but there's just so much, and I think that one that word that you use, vulnerable, it's the umbrella term for so much that's going on because this team is vulnerable. I mean, and then yeah, I mean, it's putting the younger players, how we're going to talk about a little bit later, in a vulnerable spot as well, and you know that they're kind of shining through. So that's wonderful. But no, you know what? I'm just gonna sum it up with this word, emo. It's like every Galaxy fans must be feeling like every emo song ever written, like put into like one emotion, man. It's a vicious cycle. I mean, I get that feeling because you know a lot of my family is Galaxy, and I used to support the team in the stands as well. So it's like, you know, you go through the cycle of match day is hopeful, you get there, it goes wrong, you question why you even tried, and then it rinse and repeat. But you know, at some point something's going to give, and I think we saw a very real manifestation of that a couple years ago, and I'm not calling for that now. I'm just saying, you know, something is hopefully changing. They're bringing in new players, but yeah, man, I mean, it just every week it seems like the rinse and repeat. Like I said, Groundhog Day, I believe you said.
Yeah.
So my one word is emo. So emo.
Yeah. I actually had a word, but I like what eSuper says. It makes no sense. I mean, I should just say nonsensical. Like a lot of this stuff makes absolutely no sense. You try to rationalize it. Like I'm pretty rational, or I try to look at facts and data, and like, but this is one of those moments. And we've had ever since that 2024 MLS Cup, I feel like that word deja vu, like we've circled around this conversation before, where like we're in this dip, we're in this trough, we're in this down moment.
Blood, we keep on having these conversations. They force us to keep on having these conversations.
And it doesn't, like, things just don't make sense. Whether it's things that we see on the pitch, things that maybe the head coach is or isn't doing, the players are or aren't doing.
I thought of the Charlie Day meme where he's like pointing at the chalkboard and like all the numbers are on there and he just looks all frazzled. Like, yeah, I thought of that. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah. But I think like probably the part that maybe makes the least sense is, I don't know. And this is like, I think this is what the fans are maybe reacting to in real time, which is like the urgency, the ganas, the ponen pilas, that like, where is that? Like, you know, like that should be the bare minimum, right? But that's where what fans react to. They want to see this team being competitive. But over the last 180 minutes, I even said it to you walking out the digs, like, at least be competitive. Or no, maybe it wasn't you. I think I was talking about it with someone at halftime. At least be competitive. Like at 0-2 down, like make this game competitive. Like, that's the fans, these paying patrons, you know, with $30, $40 parking, that's what they least expect. And so I think that's what is probably the most frustrating, or the thing that makes the like no sense is like where is that? I don't know where and it maybe comes off as a lack of effort. And I know these guys, these are professionals. I know they're trying, but it's like we don't see that. And maybe it's like it's more of a collective thing. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to make sense of this in real time. But yeah, because a lot of it, like eSuper says, it doesn't right now at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't. And but you know what? At least we have all y'all in here with us to hang out and kind of work through it together. Guys, we have a lot of fun folks in chat right now. A lot of the homies, the day ones. Shout out one and only. Shout out Marvin. Nightmare was good. E-Super One was good. You know, and anybody that I didn't call on, I just can't see it in there. Oh, cool. Will was good with it. Man, guys, I'm glad you're here because rally, man. I'm glad we got to give you a hug yesterday and kind of, shared that moment of therapy in in real life. But yeah, man. Big Dylan from CLC in the chat. Y'all need to go like and subscribe over there. Man, Dylan's been putting out consistent work, consistent videos, and it's all fire. So go ahead and show them love, man. Show those boys some love, man. But anyway, guys, super chats are available if you got something to say, got something to get off your chest, or if you just have a burning question. But Ananda, anything else to add before we get into shoutouts?
No, just other than you guys can follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana.
And please stalk them. Do that.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys have every now and then, like Rob, when we hear an interesting quote, we'll try to give you guys sort of that real-time reaction from the presser. And for you guys that are watching the live presser, first of all, we appreciate you watching it. And I know there's been some sound or audio issues. Honestly, guys, it's not a cable or Rob's mic or anything like that. It's just the Wi-Fi. Sometimes the Wi-Fi isn't strong enough, and that's why you get all the buffering. So we're going to try to figure out a workaround for that. But as of right now, it is what it is. But again, hopefully that is to your guys' advantage, and you guys are enjoying that coverage and all that good stuff. We try to, because we are privileged enough and lucky enough and honored enough to have access. So we try to give you that access as much as possible. I guess.
Oh, sure. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Dylan with the exclusive.
Breaking news.
We hit 900, man.
Hey.
Thanks, y'all. Blessings. Just like JP would say. Oh man, I got all emotional. And to think, it all started over some wings and some beers. But anyway, man. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Dylan with the breaking news as usual, with the hot takes as usual, coming in hot, and I loved it. Thank you.
All right, guys. All right, now we got to get to 1,000 now before the end of the season.
Shit.
Come on, let's get to 1,000, man. 1,000 would be huge before the end of the season. Come on,
1K
we are having
all day.
Give us something to be happy about. I mean, this team's not making us all happy, so that would make Rob and I. That would turn our frowns upside down for sure. But no, guys, in all seriousness, thank you so much for the love. And if you haven't yet, if you're listening to this for maybe the first, second, or third time, you're like, these guys are all right. Go ahead and give us a shot. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And you'll know when we're on live and all that good stuff. And of course, Papa, before we get to the shoutouts, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Sad Fu Hours. Yo creo que eso sería como un I don't know, temporada 4, Sad Fu Hours. A la Sad Fu Hours. That's what you should name.
I mean, that wasn't that temporada 3?
Basic, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
that was 1, 3, and 4. We only had, yeah, right, like 1, 3, and 4.
The return of Sad Fu Hours, temporada 4.
Only the second season was good. Anyways,
well, anyway, guys, well, we hope to do you proud and hope to not get canceled until we get to 1K.
This is a good over under right here from Nightmare. What goes first? You guys get 1,000 or Galaxy win? Oof.
Nah. We have faith that the boys are gonna pick up 3 points. I mean, maybe it's just the optimist in me, or maybe it's just like I'm all giddy now that we got 900 of y'all hanging out with us. But I mean, it's gotta happen at some point, right? They can't go 17 again, or one would hope. But anyway, guys, let's get into some shout outs. This one is really personal for me because it is kind of just like for lack of a better term, just me kind of putting myself out there, right? Because we are bringing you Pravda Galaxiana, which is going to be the written arm of Lacuna Galaxiana. You can find the Substack coming at you soon. So yes, you'll still be able to catch some work at the Sporting Tribune, but sometimes I want to pop off, and I have to keep it a little bit more respectful for the employers, and that's totally okay. But now you'll get maybe some more of unfiltered stuff, and hopefully you like it. But yeah, check it out. Pravda Galaxiana coming at you very, very soon. We will be announcing that. Happy birthday to the Podfather, aka Pod Padrino Pato, Josh Guessman. He is a young 25 today. Man, he's looking wonderful. This guy, no matter what anyone says, is a sweetheart, is a saint, and he's personally made my entire family smile. So I want to say, wherever you are, Podfather, and I'm pretty sure you're probably hopping off of your own podcast because you're always in service to this community. I hope you at the very least got to spend some time with friends and family, and cut up a cake, and ride a train. And we'll see you very soon at the Jax Mannequin show. But anyway, happy 25th birthday. And this one is a shout out to Gabriel Pecchi. Forza Peck. This guy is down real bad now. In his debut for Cruzeiro, he faced a challenge so hard that it broke man's left tibia. He has a fractured left tibia. He was left bleeding on the pitch. He was taken off by medics after a rough challenge by Internacional's Victor Gabriel. This challenge is criminal, man. Like, Ananda, I don't know if you saw it, but Gabriel goes studs up.
Not pretty.
It's not pretty at all. It's not measured. It seems even personal.
It's rash. Yeah.
It's goddamn criminal, man. And that's what Cruzeiro's opinion was as well. And so much so that they're considering legal action. So we'll give you updates on how this one pans out, and give you updates on Gabriel Pecchi's recovery. Because, once a G, always a G, and he was always a bang up guy with us, and always tried really hard for the badge. So, like I said, Forza Pecchi, get well soon. And that the one thing I was thinking about, Ananda, is that man Pecchi is a man of God, and he's going to be right there with the Lord, and he's going to be taking comfort in God and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get through it with the mentality that he's known for. So like I said, Forza. MLS transfer chisme. You ready, Papa?
Dale, let's do the first one. This one was interesting.
Yeah, no, this is a good one here, man. This is a player that we've both kind of admired for a little bit. And this is Sebastian Berhalter, Vancouver's one of their star players, basically, who led them to a spectacular 2025. He will be going now to English club Middlesborough in the championship, and this player went from around 50K when he was acquired by the Whitecaps to getting a transfer fee of roughly around 2 million, right? And this is a player that kind of had been spoken about, like when was he going to leave? And really after the World Cup, the writing was on the wall, so much so that the Whitecaps kept him off the pitch on Wednesday against when they faced off against FC Cincinnati. And a couple of clubs had been in search of his services. Tommy Bogart reports for The Athletic that it was around 6 to 10. And it's probably good that Vancouver cashed in, because he was out of contract this winter and he was going to be leaving on a free. So probably good that they cashed in, right? Like I mentioned, he was part of that U.S. men's national team that captured our hearts and our imaginations during the World Cup. He appeared in all 5 matches, had a goal and assist, and he has 18 caps for the U.S. men's national team so far. He had a magical 2025, Ananda. I mean, he was spectacular. Earned MLS Best 11 honors. It was named an All-Star this year. They reached MLS Cup and the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Of course, they got thrashed by Cruz Azul. But this is a player that, again, was brought in for $50K, and he blossomed into probably one of the most solid, if not best, midfielders in the league. So congratulations to him. It's funny that Tommy reported that now Borough's midfield is going to have 2 Columbus, Ohio natives manning them. And Berhalter apparently is from Olentangy Orange, and Aiden Morris, who is the other, is from New Albany. So we're going to be watching Berhalter, just as we always do with U.S. men's national team players abroad.
This is a win for national team, I think. So this is a good move.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm very happy that those two are going to be playing together. Good little player, Morris, I think. But anyway, moving on. You know how I mentioned at the top of the show that did the Galaxy go full Karen on him? I mean,
we talking about Tampering?
Yes, we talking about Tampering. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I mean, Casemiro to Inter Miami is official. And that's, of course, until May 2027, with an option to renew until June 2029. I, for one, I'm happy that he's going to Inter Miami, not the Galaxy, but we've already talked about that so much. But although this is official now, MLS has opened up an investigation into the signing over alleged tampering charges. It has not been confirmed, but it is thought that the Galaxy did file the complaint, i.e. being the snitch, i.e. being the Karens. But if there's money involved, sale, homie. I mean, you got to get your ducats, right? So Will Kuntz, I mean, if it came to the point where the Galaxy had to open up an investigation or had to file the complaint to open up the investigation, good on you. Get those resources that you need to strengthen this team. But we told you about the Galaxy's interest probably way back at the beginning of the season on this show. And so their interest in Casemiro does predate Inter Miami's capture of him. And so Casemiro, in his interview today, had to put out there that he made it clear to the Galaxy that he wasn't interested, but it hasn't been reported, although the Galaxy put out a statement that they had reached a settlement for the Discovery priority to sign Casemiro. They didn't disclose the number. There's reports around there that it was around 880 euros, which translates to
thousand. Holy crap! You mean 880,000?
Yeah, 880,000.
Yeah. You said 880. I was like, no. 880.
Oh no, I'm sorry. 880,000. I'm sorry.
I mean, 880. I mean, I wish we could have paid an 880 for that international stop, but
Yeah, no. But no. I'm saying that the Discovery fee was 880,000 euros, or $1,001,532.40.
That's wild. That's wild because the record was Marco Reus. I think the Galaxy played 415 for that, or that's been the highest, right, from Charlotte. So, by the way, Rob, you want to hear? I know you love your cheese maze. So, shout out to the Soccer Wise boys, because I was listening a little bit to the Galaxy segment on their pod to today, and Tom Bogert brought up something really interesting, because he linked this to how remember, I think we saw this in one of the Galaxy documentaries of how the Galaxy signed Marco Reus in 2024. And Tommy was talking about, well, basically people are saying, like, what's the difference between this and what the Galaxy did with Marco Reus? And apparently the technicality here that the Galaxy are claiming on this one is that the club, or I'm sorry, the player contacted the club and not the other way around,
The team.
which is what the difference is. Yeah. So, anyways, pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Mm. Yeah, well, those are one of those technicalities. Like, do you remember? Never mind. Everyone's
It's like
gonna
you
be
need to pull up like receipts, like old text messages. I'm like, what? Like, how do you prove that? That's wild.
that is wild, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, like it seems like this saga is pretty much over because Casemiro is at
that's
Inter
clear.
Miami.
He's an Inter Miami player. Galaxy are getting paid.
Right.
Those are
Yeah. So Galaxy are getting paid. We just don't know how much. Again, that number is being reported, but it's unsubstantiated. We do not know that yet. What Casemiro did say is that he said, "Me gustaría dejar claro que hablé con LA Galaxy hace un tiempo y les dejé muy claro que me gustaría jugar en Inter Miami. What I would like to leave very clear is that I did speak with LA Galaxy a while back, and I let them know very clearly that I would like to play in Miami." Well, he got his wish, and the Galaxy are about to get paid, and maybe the league slaps Inter Miami on the wrist. But I was reading somebody's take out there that this is pretty much an admission by the league that the discovery process is pretty much broken, and it needs to be reformed, if not outright just done away with. But anyway, another discussion for another time. That might be a discussion for Lacuna After Dark. Might be a first article for Pravda Galaxiana. Who knows? We're gonna bring all kinds of wacky stuff to you. Anyway, the Galaxy did acquire an international slot from the New England Revolution in exchange for $300K in 2026.
Put that money to work.
Yes, exactly. Put that Inter Miami money to work already. But this roster slot goes back to New England on December 31st, 2026. So it's a halfie. Not even a halfie now. It's about a 5-monthy. So anyway, $300K for 500 for 5 months. That's a crazy going rate for an international roster slot. But anyway, we did mention the birthday boy Podfather. He would have to answer this question because this one was one of the ones I was wondering myself. But did the LA Galaxy need that international slot for exactly this next man? Ananda, I feel like I always go ahead and give the big news out there. Why don't you hit up the peoples with this, man?
Oh man, well, I think this is probably the most exciting news coming out of the LA Galaxy in the last bit of time. But I will, I guess, give you guys sort of you guys, if you guys have been living under a rock, hopefully not, but you guys would know that the Galaxy have officially signed Kyogo Furuhashi from Birmingham City. This is a pretty long-term contract, Papa. So this is through the 2030 and 31 season. So it's a 5-year deal. It looks like, if I'm doing my maths correctly. Kyogo will occupy an international slot on the Galaxy roster. Again, what is unclear, we're still trying to figure it out, which was the international slot that the Galaxy acquired today, was that going to be used on Kyogo? It looks like it is, but again, we're not 100%. Probably maybe the Podfather has said something on his pod today, but Kyogo is 31 years old, and he joins the Galaxy after spending last season with EFL Championship side Birmingham City, where he recorded 3 goals in 31 appearances in all competitions. Prior to England, he played in League side Stade Rennais. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but that's okay.
I thought it was Rennes myself, but
Rennes, yeah. Oh yeah, Rennes, I guess. Making 6 experiences before joining the club from Celtic, where he had his best spell. So at Celtic, he scored,
it was a banger,
85 goals, 19 assists, and 165 appearances. He helped Celtic win 8 domestic trophies, including 4 Scottish premierships. His best season was in 22 and 23, where he tallied 34 goals in all comps, and he was the Scottish Premiership Player of the Year that year, along with the Golden Boot. And he helped, of course, Celtic that year win the domestic treble. Will Kuntz had some words for him. He said he brings a wealth of experience, having played matches with the Japanese national team in UEFA Champions League and in some of the best domestic leagues in Europe. We're thrilled to add a player of his caliber. goal scoring ability, and diverse experience to our group, and look forward to the impact he will make on and off the field. Papa, I have a little quick scouting report, but just give me like your feeling about this. Like, what are you excited? Are you what? I guess let me ask you this. Let me be more poignant. What makes you the most excited about the signing?
Oh, there's a lot actually. You know, we're chronically online trying to find news about the Galaxy and you know, see, keep our ear to the ground and stuff like that. And so I saw immediately that he was being compared to former strikers and stuff like that, and I'm not going to do that. What I'm simply going to say is that he brings a level of understanding and technical ability that the Galaxy haven't really had from their striker in quite a while, because not even Dayon has the chops that this cat has on his day, man. I mean, I and I started with, you know, the standard highlight videos, and then I was so impressed by what I saw that I started trying to seek out like longer highlight videos of particular matches and particular goals. And then I ended up watching a match or two, and I was like, "No, nah, this cat's the truth." Especially in that year where he was named the Player of the Year in the Scottish Prem. He was scoring for fun. I mean, he just had to understand. What I picked up from him was that he knows where the ball is going to be. He's got that striker's instinct. He's 5'8", and the man can score a headed goal. I mean, he just pops up where he needs to be. He can score with his left. He can score with his right. He's versatile, and he can play it across any of the three positions in the front of the attack. Although he's more comfortable as a forward, but he's not a static forward. He's more of a mobile forward. He's very quick. He's very explosive. He can get to where he needs to be, and he's. I saw somebody say that he's kind of small because of that 5'8" frame, and he was injured every once in a while in Scotland. But for a lot of these goals that he was scoring, man, he was muscling off way bigger defenders to get to where he needed to be, man, and that shows a determination and a heart in a 5'8" frame that, you know, he's going to fight for this team. You know, I read, I think it was from Big D, who's now on a flight to the Bay to support the Galaxy in the Cali Clasico. Stick around for that preview. But I think he posted something that a Celtic fan posted to their comments, and saying that this man sees every excursion onto the field as something sacred and something like the pitch is a holy place for him. And God damn it, I loved that. I loved that. Like a deep bow every time he comes off or on the pitch. Like, hopefully that translates.
Yeah.
And it becomes infectious to his teammates who I mean, the man looks like when he's playing, I mean, the man looks like he's having fun. And I hope he brings some of that infectious energy, some of that reverence to the game, you know, to his teammates.
Yeah. I think from an eye test perspective, I think you covered everything pretty to the T, and that's because that's what all I had as well. But the only thing, because I know you didn't want to compare him to anyone, but you know, he reminds me a lot of, and this is, I want to make this one close to home because this is a Galaxy podcast. So I do want to compare him to a former Galaxy player, but he reminds me a lot, maybe not the exact same player, but in terms of stature, ability, fox in the box, he reminds me a lot of Mike Magee. A lot of Mike Magee, where he just gets in the right position.
Shout out Mike Magee.
He's technically clean. And he's got that, just like that winning sort of, like, I feel like Kyogo's gonna inject some of that winning sort of, you know, mentality into this team. And, you know, if he comes close to what Mike Magee was for the LA Galaxy, that would be an absolute godsend for this particular team. But that's who he reminds me of in terms of like stature and everything. Joe 13 and Lex are saying The G's are calling the Japanese Robbie Keane. Again, pretty similar there.
Yeah.
But
Galaxy goalkeeping legend Mike McGee.
yeah, goalkeeping legend
for sure.
Mike
Big
McGee. But
Lex, what's up?
I'm gonna leave you guys with this because guys, me and the data. Some of the things I picked up is if you guys look at his goal scoring form. Now of course that the one of the reasons why the Galaxy are getting him on the cheap is because the goal scoring form in the last season and a half or so has not been good. And that's why I think, even some of the Birmingham City fans are calling him like one of the biggest flops in maybe EFL history or definitely their club's history in terms of because they did sign him for big money in terms of EFL terms. But you look at the goal scoring and you only see like 2 seasons that were not in double digits, and that's because he played, less than 15 games each. So this guy knows how to find the back of the net, and if he can rediscover that goal scoring form with the Galaxy, which I'm hoping he does in this league, the Galaxy have struck a gold mine here, and they've got a really, really good player on their hands. If you look at the positions, he's pretty versatile, although he is most comfortable in that center forward position, but he can deputize at left winger, it looks like, and going based off of what how the Galaxy's roster has been this year, Papa, with guys dropping like flies left and right. The Galaxy are going to have to maybe lean in on that versatility a little bit. And then you talked about the injury history, but I think looking at this, like really his only major injury was about 5 years ago in the 21-22 season. He missed significant time due to a hamstring, but from there he's had a pretty clean bill of health. So again, knock on wood, hopefully that continues with the Galaxy and we don't have to overplay him so much and he can get up off the ground and running. And then I pulled up this, Papa. So this is how effective and how clinical he is as a goal scorer. I put in that red box. This is goals per shot and goals per shot on target. And I wanted to do a side-by-side with a guy that we know well, which is Dayon, just to see like what type of level, like what is the level of striker that we're getting in terms of clean finishing and efficiency in that box. And you even look at like Dayon's, for example, the 24-25 season, Dayon's goal per shot. So basically 0.24 means he, for all the shots that he took, he scored or converted 24% of the time. He scored 44% of the goals, or he had a conversion rate of 44% when the shot was on target. And you look at Kyogo, I mean, his numbers are thereabouts. So what you can say is from a finishing standpoint, we are getting as good or maybe even better finisher as Dejan Jovic, who is a DP in this league, right? So remember, we're getting this in a TAM, at a TAM deal. So if he can replicate that Celtic form, again, the reason why we're striking on this market opportunity, because you look at that last season and a half hasn't been good, but if he can rediscover that form, man, he's going to be a really good player. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is he has a knack for scoring goals in the big games. He scored 8 goals in 17 matches against Rangers
Bangers
in
too.
the Glasgow Derby. So what an asset! What an asset he would have been for a game like El Tráfico, that he would just understand what a derby actually means. And I think playing in a rough environment, a physical league, in that league, whether it's Championship, one of the toughest leagues in the world, or even the Scottish Premiership, I think that says a lot about maybe his toughness and his durability and really the grit and intensity that he can bring to this team, which this team needs a lot of it, as we saw in the last, 2 performances.
Oh Lord, do they ever? Well, I guess the big question is, before we ask the big question, we got to keep in mind that this is a TAM signing. This guy is, even though he is on paper anyway, probably gonna be at DP level stats, and he's getting paid TAM level wages. So, with all that considered, chat, what would you give this signing? What letter grade would you give the signing? I mean, I know what I'm going to give it, but Ananda, do you have an opinion on this one?
Yeah, I think this is like at least a B signing, if not more. I'm not a big fan of the years necessarily, because like almost like the NBA, like this could end up as a negative contract in the long run. But I think what I heard about that one, Papa, why they extended it so long is I don't know what the TAM numbers coming in, but if you amortize the transfer fee over a long enough period, that can now bring you down to a TAM level and not hit that DP threshold. And that's what I'm hearing. So it'll be interesting to see when the salary numbers come out, what he comes in at, and maybe that might be the case.
Yeah, well, something to keep in mind, just like Commercial Underground says, is what happens now with Klaus.
that's the interesting conversation. Yep, for sure.
Well, the expectation is that Klaus is going to be bought down to TAM level next year. But
then the question is, do you spend that much 2 TAMs on a striking core, right? That's going to be the question. So, but at least there's flexibility. There's some cap flexibility there, but it'll be that is the question on every Galaxy fan's mind right now.
Right? How will it be used? I mean, in the meantime, we've imagined a world where Kyogo and Klaus can play together because they are different profiles. I mean, Ananda, we speak about profiles and what kind of strikers play with their back to goal, the hold up striker, the creator, but these players, I believe, would be harmonious because they're so different. What say you?
Sorry, I was reading the comments. What? Say that again, because there's some really good points here in chat. But anyways, run that by me again, Baba.
No, I was saying, what? How do you think basically these two are going to fit together? Like, I kind of feel like they're going to be, because they're so different, very harmonious in the way they can play off of each other. But
Klaus and Kyogo.
Yeah.
Well, I just think like we need to give Greg Vanney the headache of, what striker do you play against certain opposition? They're two completely different profiles. So, I mean, that's a good position for the club to be in. Like, we can't have like a default, like, okay, we know Klaus is the number 9. No, we want options, because if a guy goes off of form, then we can bring the other guy in. And again, what have we always said about competition for places? Always competition for places is always healthy. So that's what we want, right? We want options. Because right now, as we're going to talk about in the preview, the Galaxy have no options. Exactly.
Well, it's good to have a couple of options every now and again, right? Which leads us to last night, where the Galaxy didn't look like they had any options. They were bereft of ideas. Unfortunately, we got to talk about this. So, guys, we won't belabor it because we do have a preview to get to. And honestly, there wasn't a lot of good to take from this. I mean, it was more scratching our head. But let's start where we always start, Ananda. Let's start with the starting lineup. What did you see from this one?
Yeah, I'll just read it out for everyone listening to on audio. So the goalkeeper, JT Marcinkowski, back in goal. And then back 4 of Nelson, Glesnes, Garces, which we may or may not talk about, Mickey Yamane, and then midfield 3. So Justin Hack got put into the midfield for this match because of Edwin Serio's suspension. So Hack, Winder, and Sanabria, and then a front 3 of Marco Reus, Joseph Paintsill, and Harbour Miller, who I thought he was going to start. And boy, I'm glad he did, because he was one of the few bright spots for this.
Yeah, he brought some fire, man. I liked it. Marcinkowski, came back, and man, I wish he had taken another night off, because he
was good too.
Yeah, I know, but really he caught 3 goals against. Yeah, I know he did. He definitely did, and he still caught 3 goals against him. So what does that tell you? Man, it's
none of them were his fault too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's just like, anyway, we'll get to it, guys. We'll get to it. But we usually do a player.
He made 6 saves, Papa. That's wild. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I know, that's what I'm saying. And can you imagine how much worse this match could have been? Anyway, we usually do a player spotlight. We will be doing one a little bit later, where we're going to be talking about Harbour and Troy Algersma, who scored his first Galaxy goal. But if you were lucky not to catch this one, basically you saw a Galaxy team that lost 3-1, or didn't see a Galaxy team that lost 3-1, basically. and they opened pretty decently again, and onto the first 20 minutes were pretty okay. And then after being on the front foot and wasting a chance, they give up a corner and they give up a goal off a set piece, off a corner kick, which is, they've gotta call it out. They have been better at defending set pieces, but they're still by no means good at it, as evidenced by giving up this first goal. And as the birthday boy, the Podfather always says, when they give up the first goal, he has a stat, but it's basically like when they give up the first goal, they lose. So, it's very much that's the trend. So anyway, they're down 1-0. A couple moments later, I believe 3 minutes later, there's a foul on Marco Royce, and instead of the ref going to go check on him, or St. Louis, kicking the ball out in a sporting way, or as soon as the Galaxy teammates saw that wasn't going to happen, taking a foul, play resumes, and St. Louis plays on. Marcel Horta gets the ball, he shoots, it's deflected, and Marcinkowski is pretty much left stranded for the 2-0 just before the half. And got even worse when Emiro Garces got sent off. We'll have some talk about that as well, but this happens very, very early in the second half, and then it's basically a man down 2-0. It's basically impossible to come out at that point unless you got some real magic working. And let's face it, the Galaxy haven't had some real magic working for a long time now. And Betra gets played in after Garces is sent off, as the Galaxy are pushing for a goal. Hartel plays him in behind the Galaxy defense, and he scores a third, and it's 3-0. El Gersma gets the late goal, which turns out to be his first Galaxy goal as well, consolation goal. That happens in the 86th minute. The lad was geeked, but bummed that it happened and lost. And yeah, that's the story of the game, man. It's just a game where the Galaxy did themselves no favors. Some of their old habits crept up. And honestly, I really liked the question that Judge Sophie asked Greg now in 2 successive weeks, because in 2 successive weeks, the Galaxy have given up a goal, or in this case against St. Louis, 2 goals right before the half. And basically Judge Sophie's question was, did that kill you? Did another late goal in the half kill the Galaxy? Ananda, we always talk about the eye test, and what did you see out of the body language after those 2 goals here?
Yeah, it's just how fragile this team is mentally. I think you see it too, and even that carries out to, unfortunately, like unspeakable actions, like from Emiro Garces. I know you don't want to. You said we're gonna talk about it later. I want to talk about this now. I think Emiro Garces. I'm gonna go as far to say I think he has put himself on the trade block, Papa. Like I just don't. I don't think he is tenable. Like he has all the talent in the world, and we saw that in 2024. And when it comes together, it's good. But when he's in a situation where he feels like he needs to, I don't know, just like either overexert himself or try too hard, or he's in a losing situation, he doesn't have the mental fortitude and like the coolness and the calmness and the composure, right? You're in the same situation, but you look at the reaction of a young guy like Harbor Miller, and you look at the reaction of a young guy like Emiro Garces, and that tells me everything I need to know about a player, right? So that's why I just think that situation is untenable. You can probably get some good money for him, but yeah, like I said, he's a really talented player, but just mentally, to me, he has not shown what it takes to be a top-rated center back in terms of calmness, coolness, and composure, which is huge attributes that you need to be, especially as a young center back. So I think, yeah, I think because I think someone asked him, has he played himself out of minutes? I think Josh did, and I mean Greg.
Yeah, that was Josh.
Greg. I think Greg. I'm gonna read between the lines and say, yeah, he probably did, because that did not do the Galaxy any favors.
Oh no, absolutely. And it's one thing to make a mistake, but it's another thing to make a mistake and get yourself sent off and harm your team, right? Greg spoke about having a center back that doesn't make a mistake for several games in a row and just keeps his focus. And he mentioned that he was a defender and he knows how tough it is to do that, but that's what he wants and that's what he needs. And I can't picture Emiro right now anyway being that defender. And it's sad because I know the talent is there. I have no idea what's going on, and maybe it's just a product of the entire team just kind of underperforming. But yeah, Emiro not doing himself any favors, just like you said, Ananda. So
it's not even like a one-time occurrence, but how many times does this happen? So it's like it's a pattern that's just I guess you can only do so much, and I think we've seen enough of it at this point. I'm pretty sure Greg has seen enough of it, and if I was the coach, I'd be like, yeah, this is not working, and we've got to move on.
Hey, I like this comment from Lex. So I've actually called for that. Lex, hear me out. Transition Garces to right wing back. Greg's actually played him at the right back, kind of like a hybrid right wing back. I believe twice before, and he looked pretty decent there. So I mean, he has the speed to get forward, and he can carry the ball forward when he gets a good head of steam. So I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, it might make the sense that you need to actually try it. It might work, but that's one of those Greg things that I don't think we'll ever see in like consistently. I think he used it in a pinch because he had to, but not like all the time. But
yeah, I would still ship out Garces and bring back Mo Cuevas if we're gonna do the right wing back thing. But that's another conversation for another day. So there you go.
Yeah, I haven't seen Garces' crossing, so I'm not sure. But hoping the young man comes good, because right now it for whatever reason it's not happening. But it's not happening for the entire Galaxy team. Like I mentioned, some match stats from this one. They did not have a shot in this match. Not a shot on goal, just a shot in general until the 30th minute. That's something that Ananda and I picked up on.
Yeah, we sit right next to the stats guy, so it's kind of cool. Like we can, we get it right on live. So that's...
yeah, for sure. So, well, one of the things that you don't need the stat guy for is to be able to see that the Galaxy have conceded 6 goals in 2 matches here, and a up and coming young buck reporter asked Greg about this, and for a team that's billing itself as a defensive team, like what's going on with that. Ananda, do you want to paraphrase here?
Yeah, well, I'll talk about that later. I'll let you finish your match stats.
Gotcha. Let's hit it. Big Troy Arguerzma scored his first Galaxy goal, like we mentioned, and this is a first midfield start for Justin Hack since the Galaxy's 2-1 comeback win over Atlanta United. And we were talking about Emiro. He made his first start since May 13th after returning from injury, and now he is going to be missing one. So we hardly knew you. But anyway, Ananda, do you have any key stats for this one?
Yeah. Well, I have the box score up, and I mean, again, I think that the thing is about the box score is it's a little skewed because obviously the red card is going to change this match. But funnily enough, and I think Harbor even said it post-match, the Galaxy played better with 10 men than they did with 11, Papa. So maybe the box score isn't skewed, but yeah, I mean, St. Louis was pretty statistically dominant in mostly all these categories. I mean, from the again, the Galaxy with only 2 big chances, and they missed. I'm surprised that number is 1. I felt like they missed more. I felt like they missed in that, from minute 30 to minute 40, they had such a good spell of possession right there with that Harbor deflected shot with the Harbor cross from the left. I think it was Winder or Sanabria missed it, and then the cutback to Mickey. That was the big chance for me. That was the one that needed to go back.
And Mickey knows, and Mickey knew it too.
And you had the Joseph one. Remember when Joseph beat his guy and he ran past him and he just missed the shot. But again, those moments are sort of those attacks that you want to finish off. And God, a 1-0 Galaxy lead in the first half would have been such a difference. But again, it isn't what it is. And unfortunately, you mentioned this earlier, Papa, like when the Galaxy give up the first goal, like Josh, I'm sure has the stat, but they are not good. And one of the problems with this team is the fact that anytime there's any little bit of adversity, again, whether it's on the field, off the field, injury, suspensions, absences, or when they give up a goal mid-game, like the Galaxy are vulnerable. And Greg even used that word point blank, and we talked about it at the top of the show. And they haven't shown all season sort of the resilience or the mental fortitude. I don't know what the stat is exactly of how many games they've come back from, but I want to say it's like maybe 1, if that. Like I have to go back to the stats again. I know Josh has all those stats, but they just haven't shown a consistent pattern of resilience and mental strength to fight back into games, sort of like what we saw in 24. I think the one game I do remember was away. It was the one that the Galaxy were down 2-0, and then they scored 2 goals before the end of the first half. It was away. Like all those performances have been away. I can't remember against what team. Houston? I can't remember. But those are few and far between, I think is the larger point. So, but yeah, man, it's that is damning. Like the Galaxy are vulnerable, according to Greg. So,
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, we've talked about the mentality a lot, in the fact that several times in 2024 we saw the team have big mentals and be resilient, and that hasn't been a theme recently, unfortunately. But one thing that has been a theme, Ananda, is this conversation that we keep on having.
yeah.
We've been having now for 2 years on this podcast of asking in the second time we're mentioning her today, the great Judge Sophie Nicolau, shout out, the classy dame of soccer and world soccer here. She posited on this podcast a couple years ago, 2 years ago, actually, or might be even longer than that. What is the identity of this team? Who are they? How do they play? You know, what are they known for? Like, and you know, this years later, we're still asking. The homie El Profe Alex Ruiz has a TikTok video out right now about this. Go check it out. And that's pretty much his big point from seeing the 2 games now that the Galaxy has been back since the World Cup break, is that there is no identity. They've spoken a lot about wanting to be known as a defensive team, and they've given up 6 goals in the last 2 games. The defense, as a unit, as a collective and individually, has been poor. I mean, Jakub Glesnes has had.
Yeah, he's been shocking.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great defender, and it just hasn't been there the past couple games. And of course, we know that the attack just isn't making it happen right now. I mean, only 1 goal in the last 2 games at home. Not good enough for sure. You know, and you know, like I mentioned, Ananda, we did have a young up and coming reporter ask Greg about this. So for a team that's supposed to be the bedrock, of this team, what do you have to say?
Yeah, man. I mean, I asked Greg about sort of the defensive identity and also a little bit about, with the importance of your especially your backline leadership team, guys like Glesnes and Yoshida, et cetera, even, a veteran like Yamane. He said, so this was his quote to me. He said, there's a little bit of sense for us as a group that we have to manufacture a little bit of offense through defense, which means finding moments to be aggressive and to try to create transitions that we can then try to attack out of. It's finding the balance between being a pressing team and being a very controlled mid-block team and knowing how to defend your goal in lower blocks. But then he says, I don't know if they had many touches, talking about St. Louis. I don't know if they had many touches even in our box the first 40 minutes. The only one that I do remember, Papa, is the Hartle off the post. That was a very early chance. They did have a couple of those. So, and he said maybe one or two. I don't remember. It wasn't many. Felt like we were in control of things and we were covering things in good areas. And this is where I kind of like get a little bit of the ump and sort of the mismatch between what I'm seeing and maybe what Greg's thinking or feeling. But what's clear though is that this team does have a little bit of identity crisis. He's even talking about it. Like he recognizes that, right now offensively, we lack a little bit of that fluidity and that bite. So
definitely bite.
So they have to win balls in higher areas of the pitch so that, you don't have to break down a low block necessarily. You can just hit them quickly on a counter situation, and there's no counter press. There's really none of that, and then we struggle being a low to mid block team. It looks like, at least in the last two games, right? So, it's kind of one of those things where like one feeds into the other, and it's circular. So right now, yes, it's true. The Galaxy don't have the horses for courses to play the way Greg wants to play. We've seen the way he wants to play in 2024, which is possession-based, numerical advantages in key areas of the pitch, and being dominant in certain areas, right? Especially in the final third. He doesn't have the horses for those courses right now. So what does he have to do? He has to revert back, and we have to become a little bit more of a threat on the counter, a little bit more of a mid to low block, and maybe win balls in higher areas of the pitch. But that's not happening because I don't know, maybe it's training or it's not on the muscle memory of these players or whatnot. That's not happening. So it's like, so that is creating this big circular problem right now with this team. That is contributing to the identity crisis, in that there aren't the horses for the courses. There aren't the players to want to play the system. But then when we have to adjust and mend and flex, it seems like these players are incapable of doing it, or maybe maybe they're incapable of, understanding and in a coherent fashion the instruction. I can only speculate. I'm not sure. But what we know is the result is showing that it's not working, right, on all sides. And this is why the Galaxy are where they are, miring in 10th place.
Yeah. Doldrums. One has to wonder, right? And we kind of asked about this. I mean, you kind of alluded to it in your question. I kind of asked Elgarsman, who his mentors were. Like, one has to wonder, who is the guy in the dressing room kicking these guys' butt, right? Like, there has to, I mean, I know it's a show, but who's the Roy Keane in the locker room, right? Who's the tough old bastard that's going to keep people in line? I mean, people hated on Zlatan when he was in LA for being the way he was, but he was the way he was because that team needed it. I mean, that team wasn't good either, and they needed someone to whip him into shape, right? And I think the Galaxy need some tough love too, man. I think they need somebody to come in and come in
ruffle
and
some feathers.
You talked
Make
about it.
People feel uncomfortable.
Ruffle some feathers and raise standards as well. You talked about it last show. Raise those standards. Like make and we're going to talk about it in relation to Harbor and what he said, but make it so that it becomes like absolutely unacceptable for the standards to be like that. And good on Harbor for talking about that.
Yeah. And well, let's talk about, speaking of Harbor, let's talk about the young kids right now. And I thought this was just kind of interesting, Papa, because obviously the young guys were the bright spot. They were the only bright spot from this team, but it's just kind of ironic because, like, so they were the bright spots, right? And of course, when you see the thing that fans latch to immediately is when they see young guys break through and blossom, and it's like the one of us thing, right? Like it totally plays to that idea, and they that endears to the hearts of most Galaxy fans. But if you look at over the course of history, at least in the last, let's say, decade or so, for the Galaxy, or maybe ever in its history, like players like Harvard Miller and Troy Gersma, they appear to be more than the exception than the norm. And this isn't really interesting. I want to pull up this excerpt from Matt Doyle's article that he wrote today about this was part of a sort of a Western Conference transfer article that he wrote, but basically I'm going to paraphrase. He talks about sort of the Kyogo signing and what the Galaxy needed, right? And he thought that was a positive signing. But he says what the Galaxy really need though is the ability to develop some players, because if you can't develop players, if you don't have anyone on a cost-controlled salary number, then you're only as good as the veterans you can sign. And right now, all the veterans look to be dropping like flies. Yeah, whether for one reason or another, right, Papa? So, and he says, and by the very nature of MLS salary cap rules, you can't actually sign that many good veterans. They cost more. And if on top of that, your best DP is hurt, your starting number 9 is hurt, then you are severely handicapped. Conversely, if you develop lots of players, you can often sell them or trade them, and trading players is yet another way to, accrue lots of GAM, which means you can sign more and better veterans. Anyway, the Galaxy have exactly one homegrown, Harvard Miller, who gets any minutes, another year of sitting on a gold mine too stubborn to dig. And I think that is a very interesting perspective on team building, roster building, and more importantly, like longevity, right? Sustenance.
Yeah.
Like it felt like the Galaxy pushed all their chips in 2024. Will Kuntz and the FO took a chance, and you know what? The Galaxy got out of there with a chip, right? But that also, but it's also like it just put a Band-Aid over the negligence for the previous administration before that, right? So, and that's why, like, you look at teams like Seattle, who's always the gold standard about this, and this is why they have Jackson Reagan to fill in if Mars out. They have the next, they have a Paul Rothrock that can fill in to be the next Jordan Morris. They have an Obed Vargas waiting in the wings, right, to be their next midfield star for, to replace or maybe supplement guys like Christian Roldan. So, it even makes me think, like, when was the last time the Galaxy developed a young, promising talent like that, right, to end up being a starter or a key piece? Think about guys like Julian Araujo, for example. But maybe that's where the Galaxy needs to go. And so I just think the irony is very interesting with, like, this is the highlight of this game, but at the same time, this is more the exception than the norm.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Galaxy need to, Doyle's points are sound. And we've actually spoken about that model already on this show, and how Seattle does things, and how they develop their players, and they have players coming through the academy that can go into that first team and do a job and are quite good, right? Case in point, Obed Vargas, right? Who's now at Atletico Madrid. But anyway, we do have a couple of super chats to get to. Guys, apologies for the delay on this. Big stacks of vinyl. He has a $20 super chat.
Oh man,
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
He says LAFC's I Love Micheladas collab could be more effective in the World Cup watch parties Galaxy had ? Seems they have a better pulse on their community and are gaining new fans with marketing and identity, and Galaxy hardware is irrelevant. I actually didn't hear about the LAFC and I Love Micheladas collab. Somebody's gonna have to put me on game. I didn't hear about that. But it is a big truth that they have been going really, really hard on their marketing, and that's going to be a battle that's not only played out on the pitch, but for hearts and minds as well, and marketing dollars. So you're not wrong to kind of call that one out and be interested in that. Big stacks, thank you. We got one from Adam as well. $5 super chat. Gracias, Adam. Bienvenido, and bienvenido to all the cuneros that are out there. Much love. He says, did you guys see the fan with the Vanny out sign was taken out of the stadium?
Here it is,
Adam.
Bubba.
Adam, we actually had the guy. I'm not going to put him on blast because you never reveal source for all you aspiring junior journalists out there. Never reveal your sources. But anyway, he actually reached out and he let us know that they took the sign at first, and so we didn't hear the culmination, which was apparently it was taken out of the stadium. But that's it's crazy. We had that one of the Cuneros in chat, aka Big D, who did tell us that he was back in Shack because he was on a flight delay. Post about Right Squad letting Vanny know their displeasure and him flashing the six sign at him.
Yeah,
so
saw that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I mean, was it playful? I mean, I don't know. I couldn't see that far, into the expression. But anyway, it's getting louder, Ananda. This one had plenty of we want betters, plenty of fire Vanny, plenty of Vanny outs, and they're very loud. I mean, and it's getting louder. So for the fact that there was only around 17,000 people in the stadium yesterday, I mean,
Yep.
they sure made themselves and their displeasure felt. But in these dark times, we need to hold on to something good, and that's something good. His name is Harbor Miller, and Ananda and I were both impressed with the way the young man expressed himself and the way the young man cares about and you can tell that he cares about this team. He mentioned a couple times that the standards right now are unacceptable. I mean, so if you're looking for somebody to kick butt and get after his teammates, I mean, he pretty much called out his teammates and called out the standard and said they needed to do better. And then it's funny that one of these young lads is going to be the one to, kind of call that out. But he was asked about, what's going on, and he said, and I quote, maybe I should just just let the man speak for himself.
I'm gonna try it, and if it blows up my computer, then so be it. And you're gonna have to carry the show, Baba. But anyways.
Anyway, we will put out the disclaimer, Cuneros. If Ananda's computer freezes, it is because he is trying to run this portion of the presser that had Harbor in it.
But it's so good. Like he deserves my computer crashing. So hey guys, enjoy this little bit from Harbor Miller, which I thought was
hopefully it works.
Excellent.
First of all, I think that
yes,
we all need to have that heart or that drive from minute 0 through minute 90. It doesn't matter who you are or what age you are. Like obviously I'm fighting for minutes and I'm a young guy and you can always get that out of me. But I think for all of us, that is just that's the minimum. That is that's what is expected, and that should be our standard, especially representing this big of a club. That's a non-negotiable, Yep. And I think then once everyone brings that, then the quality will show.
Truth.
Oh, that was like a breath of fresh air. Someone said it. Yeah, Dylan said, breath of fresh air. Like, I wasn't expecting much from that presser. And again, this is going to be one of those memorable pressers for me. I was like, I saw you, Josh, like people were nodding their head, and you were even like this. You were going, siesta. He gets it.
I didn't notice that I did that. But
yeah,
maybe he got to me.
Yeah, you did that, but because he spoke to you, right? This is like now he's speaking to the fan in you, Papa, right? Before, and not operating as the capacity of a reporter, but like as the fan, like the human, right? And like, it's that Maya Angelou thing. Is what I say about like people that we have on the show. Like it's not what they say, how they say, it's how they make you feel, and that was exhibited by that quote, I think, from Harbor. And I think he endeared himself to a lot of fans. Now, the reality is Harbor Miller should not be the savior of this team. Harbor Miller should be, getting sparing minutes. He maybe not isn't maybe ready for, to be a fully fledged starter, but the desire and the heart and what it means to represent this badge, that is the baseline that all 25, 28 players, if you include the supplementals, like that is the baseline minimum. And that's what we're not getting right now from this team. And I think that is what fans are mostly reacting to. But at least Harbor, and looks like Troy, these kids get it. They get it. They're fighting for something. They have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Honorable mention, of course, for defending the badge, Troy Orgersma, who got his first Galaxy goal. And then, yeah, he spoke very well as well. He seems to understand. I mean, Harbor shared that, they trained together in the off season, and that one day he was, just putting Troy's business out there, but he went and drafted, and he kept on working hard and got a trial with the Galaxy and got signed to VCFC. And but before that, they Harbor walked in one day and saw him, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm trialing." And ever since then, Harbor has been they described each other as being good friends. So it's great that he has that in his corner. It's great to see, like Dylan said, Harbor understanding the moment and understanding that what a tough moment it is for the Galaxy, how vulnerable they actually are. One of the things that I really enjoyed, that he was just such a class act in this presser, hitting all the right notes, saying all the right things, but not performative at all. It doesn't seem like that. It seemed like he actually felt it. Yeah. And it's because he described being from a family where, like, he said that it was a non-negotiable, that his he was basically like, my dad, like instilled in us, that loving the badge, loving the crest is a non-negotiable. And I was like, yes, say it more, say it again. It was so great.
And it's not just talk, by the way. He does show it. Like, the guy was stretching out his calf multiple times from minute 75 onwards, but he kept going. I didn't know he had that run in him because he was stretching out his calf, and he was gassed, absolutely gassed, but he gave it everything. And you know what? Like, even like, I know Joseph Paintsel, when he was on the pitch, like, he was giving it everything too. Like, he actually worked really hard as well. But it's just the collective. Like, we need to see all 11 give that minimum baseline effort. So, and yeah, like I'm responding right now to you guys, Dylan and Pottermus. Like, they did kind of chuck the kids to the wolves, didn't they? To us, and maybe I don't know why some of the veterans didn't want to talk to us or whatnot, but man, a huge shout out to the young guys for carrying themselves in the presser. That's something to be commended for sure.
You know what? It's actually a smart strategy as well. I mean, they probably know that we aren't going to go hard in on these boys because, I mean, let's face it, they are, like you said, it's not their fault. They shouldn't be carrying the load, right? We have another $5 super chat from the homie Adam. It says, very poor attendance, but you know what? Let me start off by saying thank you first, Adam. Let me back that up. Let me back that thing up. Gracias for that $5 super chat, and then we'll go to his statement. I believe, yeah, it's a statement. Very poor attendance. If this was a different front office or a different team, Greg would have been fired. A number of teams this season have fired coaches. Yeah, they have. But I mean, Adam, you've asked us here on this pod if we thought it was going to happen. My opinion has not changed.
Not yet.
I don't.
But if they go on like a 5-game losing streak, that's going to be untenable at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it has not changed yet. But
that can change.
It very much could change. But
especially if they don't get a result away from home in this next game.
Ananda.
Yo.
What I wanted to end with saying on Harbor is that this man gets it, right? And he gets it because of what his daddy instilled in him. But second, he gets it because his first match was precisely this match we're going to preview. El Cali Clasico.
Yeah.
The Galaxy versus San Jose Earthquakes. He understands, that before, there was a rivalry with LAFC. The big rivalry was with the San Jose Earthquakes. This one is probably the oldest and most treasured rivalry in the league. even when San Jose was playing in high school stadium. It was still fun. But the Galaxy will resume hostilities with their northern neighbor, the Earthquakes, on Saturday, July 25th. And that'll be the 105th edition of the California Clasico. And this one's at Stanford. The Stanford ones are always amazing. I've missed the Stanford version of this match now, I think, for the past 2 or 3 years, man. And we really got to make it up there for this one, Ananda, because the Stanford match, Cali Clasico, is all special. This one dates back, or this rivalry dates back to April 6th, 1996, when the Galaxy pulled off a 2-1 win over the then San Jose Clash. Entering this one, the Galaxy holds a 50, 34, and 20 record in 104 all-time meetings, and has outscored San Jose 180 to 154. The teams played twice in 2025. San Jose scored a 1-0 win on May 29th, and Marco Royce tied the game up for the Galaxy in a 1-1 draw on June 29th. Of course, this one sees these teams enter this match in much different places. The Galaxy now, after 17 matches, is in 10th place on 20 points, and they're at 1.18 points per game, 5-7-5 record, 23 goals for, 28 goals against, a -5 goal differential, and only 1 win in the last 5 matches. San Jose, on the other hand, they're doing the damn thing. They're tied for first place with Vancouver on 32 points. Officially, they're in second place after 16 matches, 2 points per game, a 10-4-2 record, 34 goals for, 19 goals against, a +15 goal differential. However, they are coming off a pretty ugly 4-0 home loss to Orlando in your crush, Grizzlies' debut for Orlando. Official debut, that is. And that is before, the break here. San Jose left off with a 3-1 win over Portland. Funny to think that every time they have a chance to kind of take over for Vancouver, they somehow have not been able to get it done. This is another instance of that, and in that 4-0 loss. Ananda, you brought up that form guide. Want to take us through some of this?
Well, I mean, you pretty much recapped it. The Galaxy winless, or sorry, 1 win in their last 5. Again, San Jose coming off that 4-0 loss. I think that is going to play maybe a bit of a factor in this game. I mean, they want to right their wrongs. They're one of the best teams in MLS right now, currently 4th in the Supporter Shield. So, San Jose are a very good team, but they're also going to be missing some players. But we've got to talk about the Galaxy and how many available bodies they will actually have coming into this weekend. We're going to pull up this tweet by Josh saying things getting worse for the Galaxy. If you look at all of the absences, injuries, suspensions, etc. Puig, obviously we know, is out. Eric Tommy out. Klaus out. Glesnes is going to be out now on yellow card accumulation. Marco Royce, doubtful, but probably not going to play based off of what we saw. But again, we will probably get the injury report. Tomorrow's Friday, right? So we'll get it tomorrow. Emi Garces, we know, is going to be suspended for a red card. Ruben Ramos is unavailable because he's with the national team. And Kyogo is still sorting out his visa. So Josh says 18 players likely available for Saturday. 6 out of the 11 highest players out. Again, that's just doing some simple math. But our roster is going to be pretty depleted, to say the least. But San Jose also has some pretty notable omissions. So Preston Judd, former Galaxy player, is going to be out for this one due to yellow card suspension. He's been a critical part of their attack. You've got Nico Sakiris, who is an up-and-coming young player, 11 matches, 2 goals, 4 assists. Earl Edwards Jr., the goalkeeper. Nonso Adimabua, say that 20 times fast, and DeJuan Jones are the notables there. So, of course, the big player for them is available, Timo Werner. So that's one of the guys we're going to have to watch out for. But, Papa, given all of the omissions from the Galaxy and who they got, I feel like the lineup picks itself. So let's get to the predicted lines. I feel like it fits it picks itself. I have it on the screen there. I picked the same lineup you did basically, and I know you had Glazes in there, but I think when we read that news about the yellow card accumulation, I think the default choice then would be Yoshida. So because the only other center back you have is Chris Rindolph. So there you go. But again, we'll read it out for everyone listening on audio. So our predicted lineup: JT in goal, Nelson, Hawk, Yoshida, Yamane back forward, midfield 3 of Suryo, Winder, Sanabria, front 3 of Joey Pants, Harbor Miller, and Robert Taylor getting his first start of the season. And I don't think there's much conversation about this because the lineup picks itself. It is what we have, what we have, and that's it. Like that's what we got to go with, right?
Unfortunately, I mean, and there's really
shaking your head.
I'm shaking my head because it's not even like, I mean, yes, we can be upset, but like they really don't have like you said, the horses for the courses is what you've been saying. Like,
yeah,
like man, it's just sad. So these boys are gonna go out there and try their butts off, but I mean, there's just no force multiplier for quality, and right now this team isn't built to match up with a team that like San Jose that's been playing that well. Only thing is that, like you said, they have a couple of notable missings as well. So hopefully the Galaxy can take advantage of that. Hopefully they can go ahead and rise up, because it is a Cali Clasico, and then get up for it like they usually do against LAFC in El Tráfico.
Yeah. See, the thing that like, it's funny because Joe's like, wait, that's not actually not terrible, low key. See, I look at this lineup and I'm like, this is tailor made. No pun intended, because Robert Taylor's in there. This is tailor made for sit deep and counter. Look at the speed and that, like, the work rate that you have in the front 3: Joey Pants, Robert Taylor, and Harbor. Right? They're gonna give you work rate. They're gonna run into spaces. They are gonna be willing runners. I thought Robert Taylor had a pretty good game actually. He has a pretty couple decent cameos. He looks pretty tidy on the ball. He's experienced. You can tell that. And he offers something, I think, very similar to Eric Tommy, different players, but they offer something in that attack. So we'll see, man. Like, this is definitely not a possession thing. This is like, you win the ball in a good area and you spring, especially guy Joseph Paintsil, you spring that him off the back of the center back. That's just tailor made for that. But we'll see what the approach will be in San Jose. But we are away from home, so maybe we are going to play a little more cautious. Who knows? We'll talk about it in the predictions.
Yeah, well, the usual big guns for San Jose are out, so they still have a couple players that can hurt you. I really like, and I called this one out before. I think it was like 2 Cali Clasicos ago. This player, Beaumarie, Bolaroo. And I mean, this player's good, man. He's got a good little engine in him, and he can progress the ball. He's got a good strike. Timo Werner, of course, got all that good quality in him, and he's going to be able to cause Galaxy problems on in a team that hasn't been good in transition.
Yeah, and Buddha too on the other side. Got to watch out for them. They're a very good transition team. They're very good. I mean, Bruce Arena, they're well coached. They're well drilled. They're pretty aggressive. They will try to win their duels. They will try to go man-to-man in certain instances. But, yeah, without Preston Judd's actually quite a big loss, Papa. Look at his stats there. Pretty darn good in the season. He's going to be a big miss for them. He's in double digits in goal scoring. So, speaking of young guys that the Galaxy developed and had to let go of, going back to that. But yeah, 13 GA, Lex. I mean, he's been lighting it up this year. So he's going to be a big miss for them. That's for sure. But where are we going to go after this, Papa? Oh, fill in the blank. Fill in the blank time, Papa.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up here, guys. Go ahead and let us know what your prediction for this one is for the Galaxy versus San Jose in the 105th edition of El Cali Clasico. But before we get to your predictions, and go ahead and start dropping them, let us know what you're thinking this one is going to end up at. We need to answer the question of, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... Ananda, what are you thinking?
How do I chalk this down to? They just, it's, to me, this is a game, again, going off of what we've seen in the last two games. I think this game is going to be less about tactics and less about, game plans. I mean, that's going to be a part of it, obviously, but I think this is going to be more about desire. This is going to be more about intent. This is going to be more about, the passion and the will to win and doing what it takes, like Harbor said. But from minute zero, Papa, minute zero, not when you're 2 goals down. You're like, oh crap, we're 2 goals down. Now we got to ratchet up. No. That intensity, that drive has to come from minute 0 to minute 90. And then you take your shots from there. Look, the Galaxy may not have enough quality on paper, but maybe you could, substitute a little bit of that for extra passion, like getting stuck in, taking pride in winning your duels, etc. So I think it starts with that. That is the baseline first, because I don't think the Galaxy get anywhere without that. And then, we'll see if we can get an early goal, hit them on the break. We'll talk a little bit in the predictions, but the baseline is they have to come into this game with intent. That's for sure.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna take yours and ratchet it up a notch. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to embrace being the villains, right? Sanford is that game that sells out, and I don't know what that stadium holds, but it's definitely more than the Digs does, right? And it's, I think, somebody fact check me on this, I think it's upwards of like 50,000-60,000. So there is going to be a huge hostile stadium against them, and they need to get out there and embrace being the villain. Beat Kobe and run through Pal's chest, man. Go ahead and get stuck in. Go in for some hard tackles. I mean, within reason. Don't go all Emiro on them.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you have to show this match the respect it deserves by playing to your all and just showing that opponent that, like, damn, we got smoked our past 2 games, but don't you think you're gonna roll over on us, or don't you think you're gonna roll us? So yeah, they need to just embrace being the bad guy, embrace being the villains, embrace the shithousery, man.
Yeah.
E-Super One says Webbles. Yeah, Webbles for sure. Webbles for damn sure.
Maybe I should have just taken Harbor's words and be like, hey, they have to fight. They have to fight for the badge and make fighting for the badge a non-negotiable in this game. And that's it. It's that simple.
Yes. Lex, I love the sentiment. Shout out to all the G's headed to San Jose to watch Vanny Ball in enemy territory. Shout out to all you G's.
Shout out to all you guys
on your way up there.
Safe.
Yeah, travel safe. Take care of each other. Keep your head on a swivel. Ananda, I know that you and Dr. Raquinho were building some Lego sets the other day, and while you guys were doing that, you guys had a nice chat about the win probabilities for this match. So what did you and Dr. Raquinho have to talk about?
Yeah, we were building a Millennium Falcon. So we had a nice long chat because that was a very long Lego. So this one, the home team, San Jose Earthquakes, 51%. Win probability to the Galaxy's 20, I think that's a 6. I can't even see that. Let me take that up, 24%. So not giving the Galaxy much of a chance. A couple of historical insights coming into this match. So the San Jose Earthquakes haven't won their last 8 home matches in a row against the Galaxy. Kind of interesting. Preston Judd, who will not be in this game, has scored in 62% of MLS home games this season for the San Jose Earthquakes. So like I said, he's going to be a big loss because he's a big focal point of their attack. So now all the weight goes to Buda and Timo Werner. And so it will be interesting to see, maybe can the Galaxy, hopefully they can capitalize on that. But again, Timo Werner is still, especially if Mickey Yamane vacates that right-hand space, Timo Werner is going to vacate that space. And he is a tricky customer, right? He's fast, and he can do damage in the opposition box for sure. So
Well, those aren't good odds, unfortunately. So,
No.
before you give us your score prediction, go ahead and let us know what the chatters, what Los Cuneros are saying out there. What are they thinking? What is this one going to end up at?
Yeah.
Ooh.
eSuper says 3-0 San Ho. Pottermus says 0-2. I'm assuming that's a loss, Pottermer, given you're pessimistic with an A today. So Lex says if it ain't broke, through and Galaxy loss. And let's see what else. Yeah. So again, people are not optimistic. I don't blame them. And I think for me, I think the fact that this is away from home, I think is actually a positive for the Galaxy. Galaxy have surprisingly been a better road team than a home team this year. The Galaxy have not made it the Digs of Fortress. I don't know why that is. But maybe going away from home, they feel like they're the underdog. They feel like they're not expected to win, so they can play a little bit more freely with a little bit less pressure. And the fact that they don't have a full roster, maybe some of that goes into play. But I just think maybe through the 90 minutes, I don't think the quality is going to be there. Like at the end of the day, like even I think Greg or someone said it post match, like it's how good you are in both boxes, and I don't think they have the quality yet to be, elite or maybe be elite enough in both boxes to win this match. So I think it's going to be a tie. I think it's going to be same scoreline as last time, 1-1.
I do not think it's going to be a tie. I think San Jose is going to come back from that 4-0 loss. They're going to find their way back, and it's going to be a 2-1 San Jose win. But that's the head pick. The heart pick says 1-1.
I would be happy if the Galaxy gave up only one goal. Let's put it that way. I would be more happy with the one goal against than the one goal scored. But we'll have to see. The defense has to pick it up. And again, they have to defend as 11. I brought that up with Harbor Miller post-match. They have to defend and take pride in defending as a team and as an 11. That's not just the back four and the goalkeeper. That is all 11 men on that pitch.
All day. Well, let's wrap it up, Ananda.
Sure.
Just like we said, G's traveling up to San Jose, up to the Bay. Have fun. Be safe. Watch each other's back. Next on this humble little show you call La Cuna Galaxiana. On Monday, July 27th, we'll be reacting to the Galaxy's win, loss, or draw. According to a lot of y'all, it will be a loss from the Galaxy's weekend Cali Clasico sojourn. After they are back from visiting Alcatraz, we will have another show for you guys on the 30th of July. And that will be getting us ready for the Galaxy's weekend match. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Just want to say thank you, and thank you again for, getting us to 900. Excuse me, guys. I'm losing my voice and steam. But
hit the likes, not la pipa.
But thank you so much again. We really appreciate all you guys, and I know this is hard, and like this is group therapy for all of us, and we're gonna get through this together in las buenas, in las malas, as we always say. But no, we love you guys, and again, everyone traveling up there, please stay safe and enjoy the game, and hopefully the Galaxy will treat you to a better performance, and hopefully some sort of miracle in some sort of way, 3 points heading back. So your bus drives or bus trips and drives back home will be much more enjoyable.
Well, with that, we say good evening and thank you so much again, Cuneros, and to everybody watching and listening. If it was your first time, we do appreciate it. Hopefully you will come back and see us again. Cuneros, un cálido abrazo, bendición. And here's to you, G's, and here's to you, soccer fans. We'll catch you next time. Come back and catch us on Monday. We will see you then. And there's one thing left to say, and I quite like Lex's visual representation of this, the cheese symbol and the up sign. I love it. Lex, that's got to go on a shirt soon. Anyway, here it is. Jesus.